How should the White House be handling this situation? Joining us now is ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Texas Congressman Michael McCaul. Congressman, great to see you. What do you want to see from the White House on this? How should they be responding?
They should be responding, supporting the people of China against the oppressive Chinese Communist Party regime that is locking down their entire civilian population. It's really fascinating to me, the weak response that came out of the White House. We always support freedom and democracy over tyranny. And in this case, Communist China could not be more tyrannical. And we see the footage of people being beaten and mothers thrown down with their children. And, Reagan stood up for these people. Voice of America stood up for the people of Russia over the Soviet Union that eventually led to the collapse. And what I see is the Emperor of China, Chairman Xi, who made his case before his Congress to become the imperial president, is now an emperor without clothes. What I mean is the people of China, he does not have control over them, and we need to do everything we can to support them.
Congressman, a Defense Department report released today finding China is accelerating its nuclear expansion program amid all of this. What is your reaction to that?
Well, I've been briefed on this in the classified space. It's very alarming where China's headed in terms of its military and its technology. The hypersonic weapon was a first demonstration where they are. And the fact is, Sandra, is built on the backbone of American technology. We need to stop selling this technology to China from the United States. And when I'm chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, that's what I intend to do. But they are very advanced now. They are the #1 threat now to the national security of the United States and the free world. Would you say that that is a bipartisan reaction? Would you say you're hearing a similar reaction from your Democrat colleagues? It should be. And I'm asked this a lot because our committee is very bipartisan. One thing I think we can all agree on is that China is a threat. And it's not in my words. It's not in any politician's word here. All you got to do is look at Chairman Xi's language and what he says in his 100-year marathon for complete economic and military domination of the world. And if we don't keep our eye on this, if they move into Taiwan, where 90% of the semiconductor chips advanced are being manufactured, if we look at the South Pacific, he's already signed a security agreement with the Solomon Islands. Remember PT-109, John Kennedy, that my dad's generation liberated, and now they're going to try to take it back and redraw the maps in the Pacific that the greatest generation liberated.
You know, we all had our eyes glued over the past couple of hours watching that World Cup game where U.S. just pulled off victory against Iran. That game happening in the middle of rising tensions, obviously, Congressman. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that and the political hostility that we have seen around those games.
Well, you know what's great, Sandra, is the United States just beat Iran today 1-0 in the World Cup. That is fantastic news. It just shows you once again where it's China, Russia, North Korea, or Iran, this sort of censoring free speech. They got mad at their own players who didn't sing the Iranian national anthem, or the U.S. player that had the Iranian flag without the Islamic Republic symbol on it. China does this as well. They censor people, surveil Russia, North Korea, Iran. They're all axis of evil. They're all aligned with each other. And we need to stand up for the people of Iran as well, and the women of Iran who have been so brutally cracked down upon by the Ayatollah and the IRGC. We have to have their back as well.
And now the USA will advance to play the Netherlands in the World Cup knockout round. But thank you very much, Congressman, for joining us on all of that. We appreciate your time today, sir. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.